guys. Welcome back to Days of Darkness, and welcome to my review of A Quiet Place. This one came out in 2018. It's starring John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and Millicent Simmons, and was directed by John Krasinski. Now, right out of the gate, I really like this movie, and there are multiple reasons why I like this. Yeah, of course, it's scary and it's extremely intense and it has just some great pacing and all the things that I adore about a horror movie. But I want to say, while this is not like a top 10 for me or anything like that, what sets this, I would probably put it in top 50 though, honestly. What sets this one aside for me and what separates it from the pack is the fact that it is so damn unique. It is so risky to have a movie where there is little to no dialogue. I don't really consider this a spoiler, to be honest. Obviously, there's dialogue in the movie. Like, let's not fucking kid ourselves. There are moments where the characters talk. But for the most part, man, this film is completely silent. And being able to do that and still fucking hook your audience, for the most part. There are people who will say, oh, this movie's too boring, it's slow. And I've literally heard people complain about this movie being too quiet. Look at the big brain on you, bud. Anyways, so I really, really admire this movie for that, man. I think that it's such a risk, but the way that this movie is made and just the quality here, fucking bravo, dude. Also, I want to get into the fact that the premise of this movie is so fucking cool. If for some reason, because I know this movie blew up. Like, people in 2018 were talking about this movie like it was one of those horror movies that blows up. So just in case you don't know about this movie, or you're not a horror person, or for whatever reason, if you don't know, I'm not gonna state what that premise is here. But I think the idea, behind the antagonists of this movie and just the world that this movie sets up, it is so damn unique. The premise of this is just so fucking cool. I've never seen this before, and quite frankly, it'll never be done again, because if anyone even dares try to touch this premise, they're just gonna be like, oh, it's just A Quiet Place ripoff. So big fucking props to just the writers and John Krasinski, who does a fucking fantastic job directing here. Just what a unique and cool movie. Which I know I kind of brought it back to it being unique, but whatever, fuck it. But yeah, man, just great pacing, great setups. Some of the scenes in this are tense as hell, and don't worry, in the spoiler section, we will dive into it. Don't you fucking worry. But man, there are just scenes in this movie, and I had seen this movie before. Like, I know what happens and yada, yada, yada. So rewatching it a second time here, I'm still like fucking on edge, and I know what's gonna happen. When a movie is able to do that, dude, there's very little you can complain about. Obviously people will poke holes and say like, oh, well, you can complain about this and that. Yeah, sure, but come on. Anyways, man, I'm gonna keep from this spoiler-free section lingering on for too long, and we're just gonna go ahead and hop into the spoiler section. So let's go ahead and spoil the shit out of this motherfucker. Stay tuned. Alright, spoiler time. Your ass has been warned. Now, let's just hop right into it here. So, holy shit, man. We start out with a bang. We land right in the middle of this shit. I believe it's day 89, if I'm not mistaken. And I will not get the later days correct. So, sorry, but we are at day, I believe, 89 here of this fucking insane apocalypse. Just the apocalyptic alien invasion where they prey upon sound, and if you make any noise whatsoever, whether it's, an audible, like, noise, or if you just, like, drop something or anything, like, they will fucking come and attack whatever noise it is because they just assume it's food. Nothing is explained here, and I'm okay with that. I don't think the point. This is one of those this is what I have coined it as this is a Michael Myers situation, where obviously it's a completely different premise, but it still stands that you don't always need to have an explanation for everything. There is something inherently spooky about not knowing what the fuck is going on. And that can be done well, like, in this case, or it can be done not well, which I have also seen before, as we all have. But here, man, I don't need an explanation. I don't need to know why, like, how these aliens got here, or monsters, or whatever you want to call them. I don't need that. All I need is some fucking brutal, awesome fucking horror. And that's what I get here. Which, speaking of brutality, I also have to mention before we get into the movie, it's PG-13, which I think this is the first PG-13 horror film I've talked about on the channel. And real quick, it's always controversial for some fucking reason. People hate PG-13 horror movies. I'm fine with them. I don't think every single horror film needs to have 1,000 F-bombs. I promise you right now, there will never be a PG-13 rated Days of Darkness review. It's just not how I'm wired. I'm sorry. And as much as I love blood and guts and gore and all that cool shit, not every single horror movie needs that, or just any R-rated content in general. And I'll be honest, man, when talking about PG-13 horror, this one pushes it a bit, man. I mean, I'm willing to bet that they left a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor or out of the script or anything. I'm willing to bet they cut a lot of shit out in the process in order to get that PG-13 rating, because just the idea of these monsters and what they do to people, this movie very easily could have been bloody and gory as hell. And while I kind of, would have liked it to have been, it's just how I am. I don't have a problem with it. Not every movie needs to be that. Moving on. So like I said, this fucking thing starts out with a bang, dude. We are immediately introduced to the main family here. We have Lee, the dad, played by John Krasinski, Evelyn, played by Emily Blunt, who are married in real life, which I think is a really, really cool touch. Their chemistry, obviously, is just off the fucking charts. Being married and knowing each other so well, it's natural, man. It's a great fit. Then you have Marcus. You have Reagan, who is played by deaf actress Millicent Simmons. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. But anyways, actual deaf actress, obviously playing a deaf young woman in the movie, which I think is a good touch. I think it offers some authenticity. I am not saying there are actors and actresses who could not act as if they were deaf, but I think it gives good opportunity to performers who, do have a certain disability, and I think it's cool, man. So I'm really, really happy that she's in this, and the fact that she actually went out of her way to teach the other cast members sign language is pretty fucking cool. And then, yeah, man, and you have Little Bo. Oh, we will get into Little Bo, man. Fuck. So it's basically them breaking into a drugstore that has been long since raided and abandoned. And they're just looking for medicine for young Marcus, who has fallen ill with some sort of something. And they're looking for stuff, man, and Little Bo finds a toy rocket ship and wants to take it home. The parents say no because it, has buttons and batteries and lights and sounds, which is not good. And again, just this opening scene here, you already have that tension of, if you're going into this blind, why can't they make any noise? How much noise is too much? Yada, yada, yada. You have all these questions that are not being answered until, they are very emphatically later on in the intro here. But yeah, man, just the scene of him trying to reach up and grab the fucking, grab the ship and, it falling and Reagan, doing a little rock star slide and catching it, and everyone's like, like, fuck, is that too much? Fuck, like, again, man, it's just such a cool premise. Like, something that is so, think about how loud the world is, and just having that completely be deleted from existence. Having that be a necessary deletion from existence. It's terrifying, man. That in and of itself, it would make people go crazy. Which, like I said, I don't need things explained, but I really would like to see how all of this popped off at first. I really would like to see, like, how were people able to figure this out? Like, oh, God, like, it's pretty fucking wild, man. But anyways, they say no, we can't have the ship, and then Reagan ends up grabbing it, taking the batteries. Well, no, Lee takes the batteries out of it and says no, and it's kind of weird because he takes the batteries out and then says, you know what, no, you can't have it at all. It's just like, fuck, man. But he takes the batteries out, tells him no, and Reagan, being the nice sister she is, she gives him the rocket, and then that little shit fucking grabs the batteries and just takes it with him, and, he shoves it in his coat, and they leave. And as they're walking home, motherfucking, he puts those batteries in, and again, just this scene, the sound design in this movie is so fucking gnarly, man, it's great. Just all of a sudden they're walking again, complete silence. And this is where you get a little peek into how they've developed their world that they're in. They've laid down sand, so it's less, noisy when they walk around and shit. And just really, really good attention to detail here. And which we'll get into more of that later on. But yeah, man, that rocket starts fucking going off. It's lighting up. It's making all these crazy noises. And seeing Lee, like, having that, because he's carrying Marcus, have the, set him down very gently and then fucking bolt. And he is sprinting towards Bo. And he's seeing that monster get closer and closer to him. And then the kid raises the rocket up. And then, man, it's just fucking brutal. That thing takes Bo out like, boom. And these things kill quick. There's no drawn out bullshit. If you're in plain, not view because they can't see, but if you don't think of something quick, you are fucked. And that is very quickly illustrated here. Love the decision to kill off a kid. Obviously, I don't love the idea of that, but you know what I mean. It gives this movie balls. It's saying, hey, we're not fucking around. We just killed, the cutest fucking kid in this movie. And a very cute kid as well. But yeah, we just killed off this cute little kid. Fuck your feelings. A Quiet Place. And the title card rolls up. And it's like, shit, man. I love the title card sequence, but I would have loved... I'm completely fine with the intro to this movie. The intro to this movie is fucking great. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I really, really would have liked to see how they would have reacted. Because they're all still alive after it. So do they just wail in silence? As haunting and emotionally crippling as that may have been to see, I really would have liked to see how that was handled. It's not there, and it's fine. Again, great fucking intro. No complaints. But that would have been gnarly. But yeah, man, and then we go, and we're like a year and some change into it now. Like, we leap forward in time. And again, props to this movie because it utilizes suspense so well. While, like, we don't see the monsters again for a fucking long time. Like, it's a while before we see, but we're made aware, fucking roughly made aware of the danger here when Bo is killed in the beginning. It's like, you cannot fuck around. But we get to see how this family lives. We get to see the new world they have made for themselves. Reagan, obviously being deaf, has a cochlear implant. Cochlear implant. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. A hearing aid, basically, and she's trying to. Lee spends a lot of the movie trying to fix it to make it work so she can hear, and he's never successful at it. And just little things like that, you know, we get to see these people eating dinner, and they have no, you know, like crunchy shit, no fried nothing like that. It's just fish, you know, very soft foods. They don't even use plates. They have, they literally eat their dinner on, like, strips of lettuce. Like, it's so wild to me, the attention to detail that this movie has for the world. What was the other really cool thing? The Monopoly. You know, they're playing Monopoly with, like, fucking cotton balls and shit like that. And then in that scene, I believe it's Marcus who knocks over a fucking lamp. And again, like I said, utilizes tension so well because now as an audience member, you are aware of the danger here. And it makes you wait. It makes you wait so long. And, you know, they're... Obviously, it's a pretty fucking loud bang, so they're like, fuck. You know, Lee has to put out the fire from it, which is not anything huge, but it's the fact that they made so much noise. That is what's worrying them. And we get a little sound, ends up being some raccoons, and then we get an awesome... Like I said, man, this movie pushes that PG-13 rating quite a bit. Like, if they would have just let some shots linger just a little longer, and if anyone's seen the movie, you know what those shots are, this movie would have gotten an R rating. Like, 100%. But yeah, man, we get the little raccoons fucking going through the cornfield, and they're obviously being loud because they don't fucking know any better. And yeah, fucking one of those damn monsters just and fucking just crushes this poor thing and drags it away. Which is wild to me. I'm like, how did those animals even survive this long? And, you know, I might be nitpicking here and there. There's a couple things you can nitpick with this movie, like the newspaper articles, like explaining stuff about the monsters and confirming that it's sound that tracks them. It's like, how would, you know, I've studied, you know, media, and that includes journalism, and anywhere where a newspaper is being developed, that's loud shit, man. Like, I doubt that could actually happen. Again, I'm nitpicking. We need exposition. But, yeah. Anyways, man. But, yeah, it's just cool to see how these people live in this awful, terrible, fucked up world. And it's during these subsequent scenes of them just living life that is revealed that Evelyn is pregnant. Which, I know y'all seen babies. They ain't quiet. So, you know, how the fuck is that gonna work? And we get to see that. And the meticulous preparation that this family does in order to prepare for this baby. You know, they're lining the basement walls with shit, not literally, but just stuff to, like, keep the sound in the room as much as physically possible. And they have a little, like, crib that is basically doubles as a, like, oxygen tank, where they have oxygen hooked up to it, and they can put a big ass board over, lay the baby in there and put the board over it. so there's no sound coming out of it. The baby can still, breathe and all that, which, like, spoiler alert, the baby is, born in the movie, but it's like, dude, how the fuck? Wait, like, what an awful way to grow up, man. Like, holy shit. Like, that shit gets drilled into your brain, man, as a kid. Like, you just have to, oh yeah, I was locked in a fucking dark box and every time I cried. Like, it sounds abusive, but in this world, it's like, no, that's completely necessary. It's fucked up, man. Fucked up, but this movie's great. I fucking love it. Again, that attention to detail does this movie wonders, dude. It really does. Probably the last thing I'll say. Oh, also you get school and shit like that, which I would think is a little unnecessary. Like, this poor kid's learning math in a fucking apocalypse. It's like, I get it, they want to have some sort of sense of normalcy. I understand. But, if I was a kid, man, and like there was some apocalyptic shit going on and my mom was trying to teach me math, I'm like, dude, no. Like, are you kidding me? And obviously I couldn't say any of this, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm gushing about that detail of the movie, but to me it's literally one of my favorite parts of the film. It's so fucking cool. And yeah, once we get done with the school little part of the story here, Lee decides to take Marcus out just to teach him how to fish and how to provide for the family, which, unfortunately is going to be very useful in part 2. We'll get into that. But he teaches his son how to fish and how to hunt and just how to survive, man. And the kid's extremely nervous, and rightfully so. If I make a peep, I'm fucking dead. Obviously, you would be a little fucking nervous. But the dad drags him out there, and we get one of the coolest scenes in the movie, dude, where they go to this stream where, you can make little sounds, but not big sounds. Like, you can talk. Which is like, holy shit. Like, are you serious? And when we get the first little bit of, like, actual human dialogue, it is so jarring. Because I think at this point, we are, like, 40 minutes to an hour into this movie. I might be exaggerating when I say an hour, but we're a long way into this movie. And like I said, I admire in this ADHD world we're in, and I'm not digging on people with ADHD. I fucking got ADHD, so leave me alone. But in this ADHD world we live in, it's very, very admirable to hold off on that. So fucking good. But yeah, man, just hearing, John Krasinski actually speak is like, whoa, like, I forgot what fucking human dialogue sounded like, And then it's cool. They have a little, cute moment where they go under the waterfall and they're able to, like, howl and scream and stuff. And I imagine after just not years, but a year and some change of just not being able to talk, that has to feel so good. So, awesome scene there. And yeah, man, shit's going good. They're on their way back to the home, and then that's when shit starts to hit the fucking fan. They run into this old man whose wife has been slaughtered by one of these things. And again, like I said, pushing that PG-13 rating, we get a little guts action going on. Not a lot. It's on the screen for like a second. But just the fact that we got it was like, oh, damn. This movie ain't fucking around. And so obviously he is completely fucking distraught. He is threatening physically to scream. Lee is like, dude, please fucking don't. Please, like, at least let me and my kid get out of here. But nah, man, he wails, dude. He screams and shit, and obviously Lee grabs Marcus and they fucking book it, dude. They are gone. Like, a lot of running for Lee in this movie, dude. He has 2 scenes where he just fucking he's gone, dude. This is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, man, then we get a little cool solid kill with the one of the beasts just fucking hacking this dude. Again, nothing gory, nothing crazy, but it's again quick as shit, man. And then, we get into the last act, which is all just fucking insane. I didn't mention this part, but Reagan wants to go out with the boys. Or, well, Marcus doesn't want to go because he's scared. So Reagan's like, take me. I can take care of the family. She doesn't bring this up, but she's fucking older than him. So it's like, he, and, Lee's like, no, I'm taking Marcus. And it's never really it's kind of this weird divide in the family where Reagan blames herself for the death of Bo because she's the one who gave him the rocket, and that little shit fucking took the batteries. So she, and really, if you're looking at it objectively, yeah, it's her fault. Like, I know I sound like a dick there, but nonetheless, when you're in a family like that, you don't fucking blame someone for that shit. She didn't fucking know. So, but she blames herself, man. She does. And she thinks that her dad does not love her, which is like, that's deep shit, man. And so she thinks that's the reason why he doesn't want to take her out. And when him and Marcus again are talking at the stream, that's what they talk about. And he's like, do you love her? And he's like, of course I fucking love her. What are you talking about? And it's good build up for the eventual payoff to that, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But yeah, Reagan's pissed that she can't go. She tries to use the hearing aid that her dad has made for her, the most recent model or whatever you want to call it, and doesn't work. So she's obviously pissed. And she goes to go visit Bo's memorial. And then we get a really sad scene with Evelyn, who is crying in Bo's old room. It's heavy shit, man. I'm glad they acknowledge the grief that you suffer when you lose such a young member of the family. Thank God above that I don't have any firsthand experience of that. But it's fucking brutal, dude. And you never really quite get over it. Especially in the circumstances that fucking Bo got killed. Like, you just do not... It does not leave you. It does not leave you. But anyways, man. So, really, really good shit with that. And then that's when shit starts hitting the fan. Because Evelyn, at this point, is super pregnant. And her water breaks. So... it's baby time and no one's there with her. So, yeah, man, she ends up, and again, a little cool thing of them building a life out of this hell that they're in. They have like emergency lights, so if everything's fine, the lights are yellow, I believe, just regular, normal, whatever. But if some shit's going wrong, they're able to flip the switch and they all turn red, and that lets the family know, oh fuck, something's going wrong. But yeah, man, really, really cool to see, again, that attention to detail. Moving on. So, her water breaks, no one's there. Lee and Noah see the fact that, something's going wrong. At one point, I think she's bringing laundry up from the basement, and something gets caught on the step. And so it's a nail. And so when she rips it off, the nail is sticking up like that. And, it lingers on, the camera lingers on that, and just the audience because that shit's going to come into play eventually. So yeah, man, her fucking water breaks. and she fucking she goes back downstairs to signal the emergency lights. You know, I'm having a fucking baby. Come back. And yeah, man, she steps right on that fucking nail, dude. It's the cringiest, and in a good way, the cringiest fucking scene in this movie, dude. Little shit like that. I can take people getting cut in half, having their fucking guts pulled out, whatever. But just little shit like that, I'm like, like fuck, it fucks with me, dude. And yeah, man. So she's like, obviously, like, because it fucking hurts, but you can't do anything about it. You can't just So yeah, man, she ends up making some fucking noise and lures those damn things to the house, and so Lee and Marcus make the decision to do a little diversion. They fire off some fireworks, and by this point, she has made her way up to the bathtub and is birthing her own child, which is like, with no one around to help, the only living thing around while she's giving birth is this fucking monster before. And yeah, man, it was right on cue as soon as she starts screaming, because how the fuck are you not gonna scream during childbirth? It's gonna happen no matter what. So yeah, man, she is giving birth to this child, and right as that happens, Marcus lights off some fireworks, and the creature gets lured out. All well and good. So yeah, man, this baby is born, healthy baby boy, la-di-da, good stuff. And yeah, man, now I'm gonna get some of the events of this mixed up because it's all muddy in my mind. But Lee gets back to the house. They see that they have a baby boy. You know, mazel tov, congratulations. Hey, where are the other kids? So they have to go find them. They get themselves in shit creek when they fall into a silo, like a corn silo or whatever. Then we get a good little bit, and it's here where we find out, a little bit before this, but it's here where we really find out that the alien's weakness. So when they fall in this pit of corn and they're almost drowning and all this crazy shit, Reagan finds out that her hearing aid, if she turns it up, like the frequency up, obviously it hurts for her because it's a loud fucking ringing, but to the monsters it's like agonizing because their hearing is super sensitive. So any high frequency noises is going to fuck with them really bad, and it does. And this thing, when it's, you know, she turns up the frequency when they're stuck in that pit and one of the monsters is trying to get to them, you know, it hurts so bad that this monster literally fucking claws its way out of the silo to just get away from it. And you're like, oh shit, there's something there, man. And yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. So then Lee ends up rescuing them. Or coming to get, they didn't need any rescuing. They, you know, Reagan handled it, man, like she said she would be able to. And again, that's where we get a little more, before that we get a little more exposition about, you know, her blaming herself, and you know, dad's gonna come rescue you, he doesn't care about me, and all this yada yada. So yeah, man, Lee comes and grabs him. And as they are, I forget what spawns it, but a monster comes back to fuck with him some more. Eventually, Lee gets incapacitated by one of the monsters, just gets a little claw to the stomach. Not like guts hanging out or anything like that, but he's hurt. And the monster ends up turning their attention to the kids who are still in the truck. And easily the saddest fucking scene in this entire movie, dude. Reagan turns off her hearing aid, by the way, so she can't really do that to lure the monster off. So yeah, man, those kids are fucked. Lee knows it. And before he does what he ends up doing, he looks right at Reagan, and I'm obviously not going to attempt to do the sign language, But he signs, "I love you. I have always loved you," or somewhere along that. And like, even the second time knowing around, like I knew he died and all that, but like I was just like, like I was like, oh god, little lump right there, man. And yeah, dude, and he screams, he just fucking wails, just loud guttural scream. And from there, it's academic, man. That thing looks right at, not looks at him, but you get what I'm saying. And yeah, dude, we just get an off-screen fucking slash, kind of leaving it to the imagination of actually what ends up happening to him. But yeah, man, he gets fucking hacked up. Reagan sees it, and it's like, oh god, it's just rough shit, man. Then they go back to the house, and here's where we get the cool little cliffhanger. They find out that if the frequency's really, really fucking high, because she puts it up to a mic, and if it gets really, really fucking strong, their head will like explode, because their whole skin is like armor almost, and it'll start kind of stretching out and looks really fucking gross, and you know it'll expose the flesh underneath. So when Reagan does that, Evelyn's able to. Bear in mind, this woman just fucking gave birth. Which also that is acknowledged. The baby starts crying at one point in the movie after being, born. And they put it in the little thing. So he's all good. But yeah, man. They end up... This woman just gave birth and she's blowing the head off of an alien. Like, what a fucking badass, dude. Like, these are some badass parents, man. No doubt about it. And yeah, man, so we get that exposition of these things can be killed, and they notice that a lot more of them are, starting to descend upon the house. We get albeit a little generic, like, action scene, like, come get me, motherfucker, kind of thing. And then the movie ends. And you're like, fuck! No! I want more, damn it! Apparently part 2 picks up right after part 1. So I'm really, really excited to see what happens there. But yeah, man, for right now, that'll do it for A Quiet Place. What a fucking awesome, awesome movie, dude. This movie is so much fun. So many just cool, inventive scenes. I glossed over the whole, birthing scene to a certain degree of her just having to stay quiet while pushing a baby out of her vagina. No. Fuck, man. How do you even do that? So, that's happening. This creature's just, you see the claws kind of coming in the background, scraping the wall. Just such good shit all throughout this movie. I didn't do it justice. I never do. This is for me to sit down, shoot the shit, and review these movies. Please, for the love of God, go out and see this, and then go see the second one immediately after, because apparently it picks up the second the first one ends. So, right the fuck on. I might actually go do that after I get done filming this. So... but yeah, man, that'll do it for A Quiet Place, dude, for the review portion of the video. But you know what we gotta do? What little of it there is, we still gotta get into the blood, the guts, and the gory bits. Let's get into my kill of the film. As I already said, A Quiet Place is rated PG-13. So... you don't expect a lot. But for what we get, I'll say it again for the umpteenth time, this movie really does push that PG-13 rating. And the blood and the guts is subsequent to that. Seeing that old woman who has been gutted by one of these monsters, seeing the old man get slashed across the chest, Lee's death at the end, which I was really, really tempted to give kill of the film because it's just such a fucking powerful scene, man. This movie is really not about kills and blood and guts. It's just about the sheer horror of the situation. But for what we get, man, it's all really, really good. And I was really tempted to put Lee's death because it's My kill of the film is right here, and Lee's death is like right there, dude. It's so fucking good. What a great scene. Again, John Krasinski, you know, he's known for his comedy and stuff, but fucking hell, man. That's someone that I really, really, really feel deserves a lot more serious roles than what he gets. I'm not saying he's just not in that world at all, but fuck, man, I think he's tremendous. But dude, I gotta give it to Bo, man. That first opening kill, setting up the situation that these people are in, and it's quick. There's no blood. There's no nothing. Like, you really don't even know what happens to the kid. Like, he just gets fucking obliterated. Like, it's like, Bo stands here, creature's right here, boom, cut. You know, it's like, you're like, what the fuck? But yeah, man, that's easily my kill of the film, dude. It's such an impactful, crazy fucking scene. And Cade Woodhard, the young man who plays Bo, now has the distinction of being the youngest kill of the film winner. So, congrats, dude. But yeah, man. Well, guys, that'll do it for A Quiet Place. Again, kick-ass fucking movie. Please, for the love of God, go see it. Next time, we're going to be continuing the Nightmare on Elm Street series with the one I'm really excited to get into. It's part 3, The Dream Warriors. I don't know why it took me a second to fucking think of that, but there you go. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. I'm excited to talk about it, man. It's a fucking good one. So, without further ado, man, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys, as always, for showing support and showing support for this dream of mine. I really, really appreciate you. You have no idea. If the day ever comes, I'm going to get on a ramble here. I don't care. You know, if and when that day comes when I have like a fucking million, bajillion subscribers or what the fuck ever, I will never, ever forget those first few who really, really were supporting me in the beginning of all of this. Just kind of dawned on me, man. I was just thinking about it, you know, when I was at work today, and I just appreciate it, man. I really, really fucking do. And yeah, we're not getting emotional today, man. This is a horror movie channel. We have to be fucking grim and tough. I'm kidding, obviously. But anyways, without further ado, take care of each other, stay safe out there, and keep watching horror. All right, guys. Have a good day.